AITA for canceling my wedding after discovering my ex-fiancée's massive gambling debt. My ex-fiancée, let's call her Belle, and I had been together since college, and we were supposed to get married this year. We had everything planned. Venue booked, invitations sent, deposits paid. I was excited to start our lives together. We weren't just a couple, we were a team. At least that's what I thought. I never had any major doubts about our relationship. Sure, we had our share of small fights. Who doesn't? But nothing that made me question whether we belonged together. Elle was always warm, funny, and incredibly supportive. She was my best friend. If someone had told me a few months ago that I'd be sitting here, writing about how I canceled our wedding, I would have thought they were crazy. But then, about 3 months before the big day, everything unraveled. It started when I went to check our wedding fund. We had been saving for over a year, pooling money together into a joint account. I was meticulous about finances, not cheap, just careful. I believed that financial stability was key to a happy marriage, and Elle had always seemed to agree. So, imagine my shock when I logged in and saw that a huge amount was missing. At first, I thought there had to be a mistake. Maybe I miscalculated. Maybe there was some sort of withdrawal I forgot about. But the numbers didn't lie. Thousands of dollars gone. I went straight to Elle and asked her about it. I wasn't even angry at first, just confused. Her reaction immediately set off alarm bells. Instead of explaining, she got defensive. Her whole posture changed, arms crossed, voice sharp. It was for unexpected expenses, she said quickly. That didn't sit right with me. What unexpected expenses? We had already budgeted everything. The venue was covered, the caterers were booked, the dress was paid for. What could possibly justify that much money disappearing? I pressed her, but she refused to give me a straight answer. She kept saying things like, "It's handled, and you don't need to worry about it." But I was worried. That night, I couldn't sleep. Something inside me kept nagging. Something wasn't right. I tried to tell myself I was overreacting, that there had to be an explanation, that I should trust my fiancé. But then a darker thought crept in. What if she's hiding something? I fought with myself for hours before finally giving in. I did something I never thought I'd have to do in our relationship. I checked her personal finances. I don't know what I expected to find. Maybe a medical bill she forgot to mention? Some family emergency? I wasn't expecting to find tens of thousands of dollars in gambling debt. My stomach dropped. Maxed out credit cards, payday loans, money borrowed from friends and family. Some payments marked past due. Transactions from gambling websites, casinos, online betting apps. A pattern that stretched back years. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. Elle had been lying to me for our entire relationship. This wasn't just a one-time mistake. This was a full-blown addiction. And the worst part? She had no real plan to stop or pay it back. The next day, I couldn't pretend everything was normal. I confronted her. I didn't yell or accuse. I just laid out what I knew. I showed her the statements, the proof. I asked her to explain. Elle's reaction was instant. She broke down in tears, sobbing, shaking, apologizing over and over. "I didn't mean for it to get this bad," she cried. "I was scared to tell you. I thought I could fix it before you ever found out." I wanted to believe her. I really did. But then I asked the question that had been burning in my mind all night. "What was your plan? Were you ever going to tell me?" Silence. She opened her mouth, then closed it again. She had no answer. That's when I knew. She wasn't sorry for what she did. She was sorry for getting caught. I asked her how much she owed. She hesitated. I pushed. The number she gave me made my stomach turn. It was double what I had originally thought. And she had borrowed from people, friends, family. Some of them didn't even know they were never getting that money back. She begged me to stay. She promised she'd change. She said she'd get help, that she needed my support. But I couldn't unsee what I had seen. If I married her, this financial disaster wouldn't just be her problem. It would become mine. Our problem. I'd be legally tied to this mess. Every penny I earned would go into paying off her debts. Would she even stop? Or would she keep gambling, keep lying, keep putting our future at risk? Walking away. "You're abandoning me." I told her I couldn't do it. "I'm not marrying someone who lied to me about something this massive," I said. That's when she turned on me. The tears didn't stop, but the tone shifted. "You're abandoning me," she accused. "If you really loved me, you'd help me through this." I shook my head. "Love doesn't mean blindly taking on someone's self-inflicted financial ruin," I said. "You didn't just make a mistake. You chose to keep this from me." For years, she kept begging, swearing she'd change. But I'd already made my decision. I packed a bag and left. Since then, Ella's been blowing up my phone. Her family has reached out, some begging me to reconsider, others calling me a heartless asshole. Her mom called me crying, saying Elle was devastated. Some of our mutual friends said I should have at least tried to work it out with her. But my parents? They were relieved. They told me I dodged a bullet. And honestly, I think they're right. I still feel guilty. I still wonder if I should have handled it differently. But at the same time, I know I made the right choice. I would have spent the rest of my life worrying if my wife was secretly gambling away our savings. So, Reddit, AITA for canceling my wedding over this?